It's never too late to get a head start on some Christmas DIYs that are affordable, fast, and extremely fun to do. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justina and here I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you through my DIYs. As you see by clicking on today's video and today's title, there is another Christmas in July DIY video just for you. I am super excited and so happy that I can get this one out. These DIYs turned out super cute. They're really easy to make and very affordable, and you can make them with stuff around your house right now or head to Dollar Tree and find some of these materials. But before we get started, if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free. But don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, we would love to have you here, part of our virtual art family. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to do all of the YouTubey things down below, which is like, comment, and share it to at least one friend. It really does help out my channel. I'm really trying to reach 15,000 subscribers by October. I really think that we can do it, friends. If you could help me out, I would really appreciate it. Now, without further ado, let's just jump right into it and let's art today. For this DIY, you're going to need some sort of container. I found these at Dollar Tree and they come in various sizes. I got a large one and a small one, but they're both for $1.25, at least for right now, since prices might change. This one did come with a dented lid, but I didn't notice that until I actually got home. I don't know why I didn't see that earlier, but it's okay because we are going to cover it anyways. First thing I wanted to do was paint it, and I'm going in with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White, but you can easily take this outside and spray paint it. I just didn't want to do that since the day was extremely hot, so I just painted mine instead. Now you might need 2 coats depending on how thick you lay down your paint, and you always want to leave a clear coat or give it a clear coat on top so that all of that paint stays on. I'm just going to give it a nice generous coat and then let it dry completely. Next, I have this little Easter egg and I want to attach it to my lid using E6000 first and then some hot glue. The reason why I'm doing E6000 because I really want this DIY to hold for a really long time and I don't want that egg to pop off or move, so I'm adding that first and then I'll add hot glue around it, making sure to not cover the E6000 because sometimes they do have a bad reaction. After I get a generous amount of hot glue, I'm just going to add my little Easter egg right on top for us because we're going to cover it with my Fast and Final lightweight spackle that I purchased from Lowe's. I got a huge container a while back and I'm still using it up. I put a little bit in a cup and now I'm adding some acrylic paint to it because I want to give it a red color. I add the paint right on top of it, take a popsicle stick, and I just start chopping it up and mixing it until everything is well incorporated. This step is optional. You do not have to color your lightweight spackle if you do not want to, but I just wanted to get in the Christmas spirit. Now I did have to mix it really well to make sure that everything was well mixed, and then I added a piping bag into this little jar right here. It's a vase, just to hold the bag open, and then I'm scooping that mixture right in there. I'm trying to press it up against one side of that bag so that I can add some white spackling to the other side because I wanted a two-tone swirled look. If you don't know what we're making, I'm trying to make a nice dessert topper for our little canister here. So after I have it in the bag, I pulled it out of the vase and I'm just pushing it down. This is still not what I intended to do. So as you see here, I cut off the tip because that is where you want to push all of that piping out. But I forgot to put in my piping tip. And I didn't notice until I started piping it on. I wasn't getting the desired look that I was going for. And then I was like, oh, that's right, I forgot to put on my piping tip. but nonetheless it still worked out just fine. So I start piping on the little mixture here, and I add it up against the egg underneath first, and then I will build layers around it. The reason why the egg is in the middle is because so we don't need so much of that mixture, and it will help dummy it up so that we can just add it all around it. Now, you don't have to use an Easter egg. You can always use foam or those sphere foams that come in halves, anything that you can add in the middle so you don't have to use as much mixture, or you can just add it on like a regular piping bag with nothing in the middle as well. And I will just keep adding my mixture until all of it is out, and then I take a popsicle stick and I start to try to shape in the look of an ice cream top or even a cupcake topper. Now, it still didn't turn out the way that I really wanted it to look because it's been a while since I've made fake sweets stuff, but it still turned out pretty cute. So I continued making these little impression marks with my popsicle stick. After I was done and liked it how it was, I then started to add embellishments. I first go in with some really fine glitter that I purchased from Walmart, and I just add it all over. Then I found this really cute penguin in my crafting stash. This is from Dollar Tree. It's a little ornament that they have, and it's like a rubber texture, and I just add him right on top of our little mixture there. I also have a variety of different clay sprinkles that I purchased from Amazon a while back, and I'm going to also add it to our little topper here. I first added a little candy cane right next to our penguin friend because I just thought that was adorable, and then I'm just adding more all around it so it could be nice and cohesive. Then I am adding some peppermints all over our little cake topper here in various sizes and areas just to give it some more interest. Next, I will add some sprinkles by hand, one by one. This is a little bit tedious and it does take some time, but the outcome is so worth it. After I was done with that, I added this little red glittery foam ball at the top for a little cherry on top. Then I noticed that my lid was still looking a little plain, so I took some red chalk paint and I started making stripes all along the lid to really give it that peppermint look. I did give it a couple of coats and then I set it off to the side to dry completely because I wanted to make a second one. Now, I did everything exactly the same except for this mixture. I made it green and white, and I did add my piping tip on the end of my piping bag this time. I still didn't get it to the way I really wanted it to look because I'm still practicing and I'm a little rusty. However, it still turned out really cute. So I'm just piping it all different ways to add on top of our egg here. Once we have our little frosting on top, I'm going in more with those foam beads that I purchased from Dollar Tree. They're called table scatters or vase fillers, I believe, and I'm adding it all over our little egg here just to give it a little different look, but still look a little bit like a matching pair when they're sitting side by side. After I have those in, I am going in again with some more candy canes and some of those peppermints and sprinkles that we used on our first one, adding them in various places to really make it look interesting and festive. Then lastly, I wanted to give it the same look as the first one, but this time going in with green stripes. I had to give it about 2 to 3 coats. I set that off to dry, and that completes this DIY. I absolutely loved how these two canisters turned out. Definitely reminds me of Christmas, and I can't wait to set these off into either my kitchen or even just around the house. You can fill it up with all sorts of things. If you do use it for food, I suggest using it for food that already has a wrapper around it, just so that it doesn't get any glitter on there. I did just put some bows and some ornaments in these, but I absolutely just adore this and love to know if you do as well. For our next DIY, I have these little containers left over from the previous year, and we get these every year. It's always filled with some sort of chocolate, and my family absolutely loves them. But I noticed last year, I was like, oh, I can make a really cute DIY with this. So the first thing I needed to do was fill in that container because that plastic around it is really flimsy. What I like to do in this case is always use some plastic bags. I always have an abundance of plastic bags around my house, and they are really good for DIYs like this because they make the project a little bit more sturdy. As you saw there, I did squeeze both of those to show you the difference. Next, I wanted to hot glue on my topper so that doesn't fall off. I wanted to wrap my candy canes in some scrapbooking paper, and yes, I did choose a candy cane stripe, but you can choose whatever wrapping paper that you want onto yours or scrapbooking paper to really make it different. I just had this left over and I wanted to use up some of my scraps. I did measure and I cut off the excess, and to attach it to my candy cane, I am using my hot glue gun. I started off by adding a little dollop on the top, pressed in my paper, and then I'm going to add more going down the candy cane itself. Then I'm going to press down firmly with my thumbs to really spread out that glue, and then I'm just going to add more to the sides and then pull the wrapping paper or scrapbooking paper around my candy cane. I did have a little bit of excess on the bottom, and I just took a pair of scissors and a little X-Acto knife and cut that off really quickly. Then I'm just going to continue rolling it until the whole thing is covered. Well, to make my candy cane a little different, I wanted to give it a little bit of pizzazz. So I found this fake diamond wrap in my crafting stash. I believe I purchased it from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add it to the top and bottom of our little candy cane. I am just measuring by wrapping it around it, and then I'm attaching it using my hot glue gun. You are going to need a little finger protector so you don't burn your finger, and I just continue doing the same thing for our second candy cane. Another idea for these little candy cane containers is that you can always remove all of the sticker labels on the front of it, clean it out really good, and then repurpose it for another gift. I thought that would be really cute for like teachers' gifts or family gifts really quickly. I did want to add a little bow to each one of those candy canes, and I'm just attaching it using my hot glue gun. After I was done attaching my bows, I did add that little diamond wrap on the bottom of each candy cane, and that completes this DIY. These turned out so stinking cute, and I absolutely love them. They would go perfectly on a Christmas tree. These could be turned into gifts, or you could just have them around your house for that little Christmas candy cane theme. I absolutely love these. These were really quick and easy to do, and a really great way to repurpose some the items that would probably end up in the trash. As I was going through my little wooden crafting area, I found this coffee cup. Now, this one was a little beat up, and I don't know what happened to it. And it is in their Halloween themed because there's a little pumpkin, or fall, because pumpkins could be both Halloween and fall. So first thing I needed to do was fix up some of those wooden pieces that were flaking off, and I just used my little hot glue gun right there to push it down again. And then I want to turn this into a little sign. The first thing I needed to do was cover up that pumpkin because we're going for Christmas and not fall just yet. And I'm using my lightweight spackle. I put it onto a popsicle stick, and then I pushed it into those little holes. And then I'm going to remove any excess that is around it. I'm trying to get it as flat as possible to the wood so that when we cover it, you won't be able to see it. I really like to use my lightweight spackling because it's easy to handle and it dries really quickly. Once I had my spackling where I wanted to start painting onto my cup. I am going in with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson Red. It's a really pretty red for Christmas, and I'm starting to outline the edges using a small paintbrush. Then I will fill it in, and I do give it about 2 coats to really make sure that everything is well covered and there's no wood showing through. Now, I know a few of you crafting buddies do have some of these wooden signs just piled up. This is a perfect DIY for it. As you see here, I am adding more of that red onto the edges. I really wanted to make sure that this cup is nice and bright. Now, to hide the pumpkin even further, I wanted to add the snowflake on top so that it looks more of a Christmas cup and not a fall cup. And I am painting that snowflake using my Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. I do have to use a small paintbrush to get in all of those crevices, and then I set that off to dry completely. While that is drying, I am adding that same paint onto my cup in the top area just to give it a light base coat, and then I will start adding it to the bottom area of our cup here. Now, I did start adding it to the wood, and then I just started painting directly all over the pumpkin so everything looks like one cohesive piece. To attach my snowflake, I am using my hot glue gun once again. If you want a stronger hold, you can always use a stronger glue like E6000 or super glue, but my hot glue gun worked just fine. And this snowflake was big enough to cover that pumpkin, and I just thought that was so awesome. Now it's time for the fun part, at least for me, which is decorating. I took some Dollar Tree caulk and I'm adding it right onto the top portion of our little coffee cup here because I wanted it to look like whipped cream, and I'm just squeezing the bottle right onto our little wooden sign, and I'm kind of going in a little circular motion to make it look like whipped cream. After I was done with that, I did add some caulk into a little bowl and then added some brown paint to it, mixed it all up until everything was well incorporated because I wanted like a little chocolate swirl into our whipped cream. After I have it to where I like it, I'm taking that popsicle stick and I'm making our swirl with it. I'm literally painting with a popsicle stick. This was really fun and I thought it was so adorable. I'm just going in a zigzag motion, trying to get that look to go all over our top of our cup here, and then I will spread it out using that popsicle stick. I do add more to places where I feel like it needed more, and then I move some with that popsicle stick if it was too much. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that I love drip marks in anything, including some beverages. So I'm taking some of that caulk, adding it to the bottom of our cup here to look like the whipped cream is dripping down. Now, my camera had died at this point and I didn't notice while I was adding the sprinkles, but I did add some of those sprinkles that we used earlier in some of our DIYs. Next, I'm just adding a peppermint right into the center of our snowflake, and then I'm taking some Posca paint pens and I'm outlining our cup just to give it a little bit more dimension and break up some of that paint so it doesn't look so flat. This was really fun and simple to do. I kind of want to make a few different styles of these cups in the future just to add all around my little kitchen area. Lastly, I really wanted this sign to stand up on its own, so I took a backing of an old picture frame, placed it on the back of the sign, measured where it needs to lie, and then I'm adding some hot glue to hold it into place. Then I'll just add the backing right on top of it, wait for it to completely dry, and that completes this DIY. This cup sign turned out super adorable. I absolutely love it. It was really fun to make, especially when adding the little swirl on top. But I really want to make a few more and have them all around my kitchen. I would love to know what you think about this DIY down in the comment section below. All right, friends, that completes our round of DIYs for today's video. I had an absolute blast making each and every one of these, and I am super stoked to continue making some Christmas in July videos for you. I would love to know which one out of today's DIYs was your absolute favorite down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, if you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free. But don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, we would love to have you here, part of our virtual art family, where we do a lot of DIYs with an artistic twist. I am trying to reach the goal of 15,000 subscribers by October this year. If you can definitely help me out, it would be greatly appreciated. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here and clicking on today's video. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. But don't forget to do all of the YouTubey things down below, which is like, comment, and share it to at least one friend. It really does help out my channel. Remember, friends, I do have other socials. I have a Facebook, Instagram, and a Patreon page. All of those links will be down in the description box below. I really did have a great time making all of these DIYs, and I really hope you did enjoy today's video. But I have to get back to work and make some more, so I will see you in the next one.